AI is revolutionizing programming and it's doing it fast. In a little less than a year, we went from barely usable AI for coding to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which allows anybody to write code very, very easily by just typing their request. Recently, a brand new app called Cursor has integrated Claude 3.5 Sonnet, basically turning anybody into a pro programmer overnight. I'm going to show you some use cases with Cursor. I'm going to show you how people are using it to code these applications. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can use Cursor to do this for yourself. You're not going to want to miss this. This is massive for anyone who wants to learn how to code and to do it fast. Let's jump right in. So like I said, Cursor has actually been around for a while. I was using Cursor, I want to say a year and a half ago with GPT-3, and now we have Cursor integrated with Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And if you don't know, Claude 3.5 Sonnet is the brand newest version of Anthropic's Claude, and it's extremely capable at coding. It basically blows ChatGPT and every other AI tool out there out of the water for coding. So it's a big, big improvement. The problem was you couldn't use it for Cursor. So recently Cursor has an update and they've allowed you to now use Claude 3.5 Sonnet directly inside of Cursor. And this has developed some huge progress in the world of AI development. So again, Cursor's been around for a while, and now that it's integrated with Claude, people are doing some amazing stuff. So this is a viral thread that's happening right now on Twitter, just a few hours old, and let's go through some of these. So this guy, Ricky, basically goes through how his 8-year-old managed to build in 45 minutes an application with Cursor and AI. Let's go through this real quick. We're not going to watch the whole video, but let's go through this.
Hello everyone, and today, I'm going to show you.
Okay, so she has Cursor open, and she's going to start this whole process. So she's going to start a new terminal here. And you can see here on the right-hand side, this chat box comes up. And this is where you can basically ask it to write any code for you want. And one of the big things about Cursor is that it keeps the whole context of the code that you've written. So it reads your file structure, it understands the application that's been built already or that it's building. And then you can just ask it for changes and it will continually update that application and continue to build this stuff for you. So you can see here that she is working on that. She has Harry Potter here, and she comes through here and continues to build this. So by the end of this video, she's built a Harry Potter bot, which basically she can now chat with Harry Potter. And she does this on her own. And she even adds some design to it also. So,
and then it will say,
it's pretty cool. So she's now chatting with Harry Potter. She also allows you to save your chats as well. So she goes through this whole process. So somebody's raising this kid right, and she's using Cursor to build apps very, very easily. So imagine if an 8-year-old can do it, anybody can do it. So we have another example here where he builds this dream video editor using Cursor. So this is an actual video editor that was built using Cursor, and you can see how it functions here. He uploads a video file, and you can change the backgrounds of it, the gradients, the colors. You can also change the zoom features and things like that. So this video editor was actually built in Cursor, which is actually insane to me, because if you like, I've been developing a lot of apps recently and a lot of like web apps. And the idea that if I had to pay someone to basically write me a video editor app, I would expect to pay a ton of money to do this. So you see you have AI voice generation. He's able to edit the videos, generate AI voice. I mean, he could easily sell this for a lot of money right now before this catches up and people are able to do this on their own. I mean, you could sell this right now for a lot of money. And basically, he's saying he built this in about 3 weeks using Cursor, Tailwind, React, Firebase, and 11,000 lines of code, 685 commits. But this was only 3 weeks of work because he's using Claude and Cursor to do this. Really, really crazy stuff. So if we go to another example here, this guy, McKay Wrigley, he's actually been huge in this. Highly recommend you follow him if you want to learn how to code with AI. He's probably one of the best follows out there on Twitter right now. So if we watch this video here, he basically goes through how he uses Cursor to build applications also. So again, he just goes through the process, shows you how to do this. So this is the IDE where you can come in here, you can type instructions, and he says, I want a user onboarding, etc. Right? He asks for what he wants, and you can see it actually starts to build this out for him. So it gives you the flow first, right? So he's actually requesting the flow of the application, which is like, if you're actually building something, you don't just say, hey, write me this. You kind of need to like wireframe it out and have a certain flow for the process that you want. And this is helping him achieve that. So this is really, really cool. So he builds that out, and then he brings that into his application. So again, he's basically saying the best way to build a UI right now is using AI. And if you go to the end of this, you're going to see what this is starting to look like. Okay, so he actually doesn't preview what it looks like yet. I'm going to show you another post from him that he actually released today real quick before we finish the rest of this thread that I thought was really, really cool. He basically uses his voice, right? So he builds this financial dashboard today using only his voice. So he times himself here, gives him 5 minutes to do this. He uses only his voice. Again, he's using Cursor, and he's basically trying to build a dashboard here with financial data. So he's basically using his voice to do this. He says listening right here. So he's using voice commands only. Goes through the whole process. Does a little bit of debugging here. I watched this video earlier. And then creates this application. So it's a very, very simple UI here, but it's getting the current stock prices for Apple, Facebook, Google, all these stocks. It's doing comparisons for them, and it's giving him price trends as well. And you can see at the end of this, he only did this. It only took him about 5 minutes to do this using only his voice, 5 minutes and 27 seconds. So pretty cool stuff. And again, highly recommend you follow him if you want to learn how to do some of this stuff. A great follow on Twitter as well. And while you're at it, follow me on Twitter, Mark Gadala. I post a lot of this stuff as well. I kind of curate some of the best stuff online in the world of AI. So, you should probably follow me as well. So just coming back here, this guy, Riley Brown, he's been a big advocate of coding stuff online recently using Claude, but he's recently gotten into Cursor as well. So again, he's using voice to do this as well. He's building a bunch of apps right now, and he's able to do this using Cursor as well. So he's basically just using his voice to build applications. He's built a bunch of these already, and he's using Cursor to do this. So really, really cool stuff. And the cool thing about this, again, I'm going to show you how to do this in a few minutes here. It's so easy to do. I mean, anybody can do this, really. Okay, so I thought this was really cool. This guy's making Figma plugins. So Figma's like the number one UI application out there right now. So if I want to like design UIs, Figma's awesome for that, right? And they actually have a Figma AI to do this as well. Like if you want to build like website designs and stuff using AI, which is really cool. But what this guy's showing you is how to actually build plugins using this. So he basically goes to the plugin guide here. He creates a new plugin and he starts to develop it here. And he's going to show you how he does this with Cursor. So he basically takes the guide and he puts it into Cursor, so Cursor learns how to use it, and then he asks it to basically start doing stuff for him. And you can see that he gives it the commands and it actually starts to write this stuff for him here directly in Figma, which is really, really cool. So he's building his own personal Figma plugin to do whatever he needs to do. This one is just renames his layers, and I thought this was really cool. So a few other ones here. So this guy actually builds Photoshop using Cursor and using Versal. So he calls it poor man's Photoshop, but basically you can upload an image. You can then, change some of the settings for this image, brightness, contrast, colors, and things like that. So really cool stuff. And again, he built this 100% using Cursor and Claude. So this is like a hack for coding right now, guys. If you want to get into this, it's really, really cool. And you can actually ask it to explain stuff to you later. I might make a video on that as well if you want to actually learn how to do this on your own. But I think this is going to become the new calculators. Who's going to want to do math on a piece of paper when you can just have the computer do all this for you, right? If the calculator can do the math for you. So I think that's where this is all going. So another example of someone who built an AI project here, programming tutor. So again, it's explaining to him how to program using AI. So he's basically dropping a piece of code and asking it to explain it, and it's doing that. And he built this again with Cursor. A few final examples here. So I think this is actually something that people are not taking enough advantage of right now, building like Chrome plugins and things like that, extensions for Chrome and other web browsers. So this guy built a Chrome extension here. I thought this was really, really cool. So he shows you basically how he did this. So he basically used Cursor to do this, right, to build this Chrome extension. And basically what it does is it allows you to have a watch party where you can watch the same show with your friends in Netflix, live. So it's pretty cool. And then you can have like a chat here with your buddies and watch the same thing, have a watch party. Live. So it's an extension that he built called Nova that allows you to do that. So I thought this was really, really cool. And he used Cursor to do this. So basically anything you guys want to do, any idea you have, you can now build it with AI without having the huge roadblocks of having to pay developers. So really, really cool stuff. So one last example I want to show you here. I'll show you two more actually real quick. So another one here with McKay where he goes through here and builds an application using Cursor. So this is like a demo app he's building here. So he has like a billing portal and there's courses and modules that he's building here directly using Cursor. He's showing how he connects it directly to Stripe as well, which is really, really cool. And then the last one I want to show you here is basically a loading state thing. So this guy built a loading state small piece of code here using Cursor. And you can see that, it blacks things out like that. So it shows you that it's loading and it has those little bubbles and things like that. So small thing, but something that could be a huge pain if you have to code this on your own. So let's jump right in. I'm going to show you how to use Cursor. I'm going to show you how to, install it, use it, and set the whole thing up. It's really, really simple. Let's jump right in. All right, so in order to use Cursor, all you have to do is go to cursor.com. You're going to sign up for an account and you're going to download it. So you have to sign up for an account, sign in, download the app. It's 100% free. Once you've installed it on your PC, you're going to have to do a few different things. So come over to the settings tab. You're going to go to the models tab here in settings. Now you're going to want to set this up. You're going to want to uncheck all of these models, and you only want to have Claude 3.5 Sonnet selected. You can use the other models. They're just not going to be as good. You're going to get much worse results because 3.5 Sonnet is the best one to use right now. Now, in order to use this, you have to go to Anthropic, sign up for an account. There is some money involved in that, so you're going to have to go sign up for a paid account for Anthropic. Come down here, you're going to add an API key, so you're just going to click this link right here. It's going to take you to create a key once you have an Anthropic account. You're going to add the key here, you're going to verify it, you're going to make sure this is checked to the green, and then you're set up. So make sure all these are unchecked. You only have 3.5 Sonnet selected. You have your Anthropic key checked over here. You've added your key or verified it. Once you've done all that, you are good to go. You are ready to start coding without using any code. It's really awesome. So I'm going to close that settings tab, and I'm going to show you what I've worked on here. So the first thing I asked it to do, so you have this little chat bar on the right-hand side. This is just like, you know, a chat for an LLM, but what's really cool is it actually will build out an app for you, build out a website, whatever you want to build. So I went ahead and asked it to build me a simple HTML, CSS, JSS, or JavaScript website that's a landing page with a nice UI for a SaaS application. So I'm just basically asking it to build me a website for a SaaS application. It went ahead and did that for me. It built out HTML, built out some CSS and some JavaScript, and you can see we have that here on the left-hand side. So I have my HTML, my CSS, my JavaScript. I went ahead and tested this, and this is what it gave me. Solid little landing page, nothing out of this world, but solid little landing page. Did this in about 30 seconds. So I'm going to come back here to Cursor. I'm just going to show you how to keep using this. So we have the chat bar here at the bottom. So I'm going to say, this is great, but please add more color to the design. Keep a modern and simple style in mind. Add some JavaScript motions to make the website more dynamic. So basically asking it to update the style a little bit, give it a little bit more color, and use JavaScript to make the website more dynamic. So you can see here it starts writing code for me. And then once this code is done, I'm going to show you how to use this. So it updated our CSS code. So you see this little button right here that says apply. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And what that's going to do, you can see here, is it's actually going to update our CSS code here. So it's actually updated our CSS, which is the style sheet for this website. You can see all the changes it's made here, which is awesome. Now, if I scroll down here, we can see that it's also added some JavaScript, right? So let's update the JavaScript. So we're going to go ahead and apply this as well. So actually, I'm going to open up the scripts.css, and we want to apply this. So let's see, apply this. Okay, so it made a mistake here. Now it's giving us this JavaScript, but it's telling us to apply it to our style sheet. Now, JavaScript doesn't get applied to style sheets. JavaScript gets applied to our JS file. So this is a mistake, right? So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to hit apply. Okay, so now it's understanding that this should be applied to scripts.js. I'm going to hit continue, and you can see that it added this code to scripts.js. So it's not perfect by any means, but if you play with it a little bit, you're going to get it to work. So it added this as well. So I'm going to save this file. I'm going to save this file, and we're going to come back to our website that we built here, and let's refresh this, and look at this. Website looks way better. We have some dynamic little elements. When I scroll over, when I hit free trial, we have some colors involved here. This is looking really, really great. So that's pretty much how Cursor works. It's really, really simple. All you basically have to do is have a file structure set up and be able to chat here with it, and you can basically build anything you want. All you need to do is have your AI model connected, and it works amazingly well. I'm going to do a more in-depth video on this in the future, so if you want to see that, subscribe to the channel, like this video. I'm going to be doing a lot more like this in the future. If you're interested in learning how to make money online, sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to put a link to that in the description below as well.